In this video, we are starting unit number 11, Financial Management and Introduction. We will cover the first three topics: Introduction, Scope of Financial Management and Finance Functions. What is financial management? Financial management is a managerial activity, means an activity performed by the management, and it is concerned with planning and controlling of the firm's financial resources to generate returns on the invested funds. The raising and using of capital for generating funds and paying returns to the suppliers of capital is the finance function of the firm. In the financial management, the finance function is a major activity. This finance function focuses mostly on raising the capital and utilizing the capital and then paying returns to the suppliers. The funds raised by the company will be invested in the best investment opportunities. Means the funds collected from outsiders will be invested in projects. Investment opportunities here means different projects. A company, for example, an app development company is there. It raises funds from stock market and it invests in a good technological firm, in a good project for app development. That is an investment opportunity with an expectation of future benefits. As every business activity either directly or indirectly involves the acquisition and use of funds, there is an inseparable relationship between finance and other functions like production, marketing, etc. Although it may be difficult to separate the finance function from the other functions of the business, the finance function can be broadly discussed as the finance function can be further divided into two ways: managerial functions and routine functions. The managerial function means mostly focusing on planning, controlling and execution of financial activities. Means planning means from where to acquire the funds, from where to procure the funds, how to control the funds, where to open the bank account, to whom the funds to be dispersed, all these things. Whereas the routine function means supervision of cash receipts, custody and safeguarding of securities. Securities means bonds, insurance policies, taking care of procedures, preparation of reports and keeping of records. These are the routine activities. These two put together is the finance function in a company. Now what is financial management? And the scope of this what we have seen is financial management and finance function. The scope of financial management, there are two approaches here: traditional approach and modern approach. Scope means this particular management activity covers which areas, which fields, up to which area, or what are the activities which are covered by the financial management. In the olden days, it was something different compared to the present days. So that is the traditional approach and modern approach. According to the tradition, now we will see traditional approach. In the traditional approach, the scope of financial management is confined to the raising of funds. Means it is focusing only on raising of funds from various sources. Since the main emphasis of finance function at that period, means in the olden days, was on the procurement of funds, the subject was called corporate finance till the mid 1950s and covered discussion on the financial instruments, institutions and practices through which funds are obtained. How can we raise funds? Where can we raise funds? And what are the institutions involved in raising the funds? These are the focus areas of financial management in the olden days, means during the early 1950s. As the problem of raising funds is more intensely felt at the certain episodic events. So when merger is happening, when a company is liquidated, when it is consolidated with higher companies, when the company is reorganized. So during all these activities, this raising of funds is furthermore important. So only during these events, this raising of funds became more important. So this is episodic event. It is happening only at a particular periods of time. These are the broad features of the subject matter of corporate finance. The traditional approach means simply the corporate finance. Where to procure the funds, from whom can we get the funds, and what are the institutions involved, what are the practices they are following, what are the rules and regulations. All these things is the traditional approach or the focus during the earlier days. The limitations or the major drawbacks when we are focusing only on these areas is that internal financial decision making was completely ignored. Once the funds are procured, what we will do with these funds, that aspect is completely ignored. The emphasis in the traditional approach is on the procurement of funds by the corporate enterprises, which was woven around the viewpoint of the suppliers of funds such as investors, financial institutions, investment bankers, etc. Means an outsider looking in approach. From the point of view of an outsider, this is completely ignoring the internal decision making. The second drawback of this approach is it was confined only during the episodic events. Like we have said earlier, this is particularly important when a merger is happening, when acquisition is happening, when the company is getting reorganized. Only during these events, raising of funds is becoming more important. So during other times, when the focus is ignored on working capital, day-to-day financial requirements, all these things are getting ignored. It places overemphasis on the topics of securities and its markets without paying any attention on the day-to-day financial aspects. The third drawback or limitation to the earlier approach of financial management is focus was on the long-term financial problems, ignoring the importance of the working capital management. Working capital means day-to-day requirements, day-to-day how much money is required, how to run the business, all these things comes under working capital management. During the initial stages of development, financial management was dominated by traditional approach, as is evident from the finance books. So this traditional approach was evident in the books written by these persons like Green, Mead, and others like corporate promotion, all these things. So how do we know that the scope was limited only to the outsider view? Means it was evident by the books written by many famous persons during those times, means mid-1950s. As stated earlier, in this traditional approach, all these writings emphasized the financial problems from the outsider's point of view instead of looking into the problems from the management's point of view. It overemphasized long-term financing, lacked in analytical content, and placed heavy emphasis on descriptive material. Thus, the traditional approach omits the discussion on the important aspects like the cost of capital. Okay, not only working capital, it also ignored the cost of capital. Cost of capital means how much interest the company has to pay, what are the impacts on the project into which the funds are being utilized, all these things. Optimal capital structure, valuation of the firms, all these things are ignored in the olden days. Now, what is the modern approach? After the 1950s, a number of economic and environmental factors such as the technological innovations, industrialization, competition, interference of government, growth of populations, etc., the focus mainly shifted from sources of finance to the efficient and effective use of funds. The emphasis shifted from episodic financing to the managerial financial problems, shifted from raising of funds to efficient and effective use of funds. Since the financial decisions have a great impact on all other business activities, the financial manager should be concerned about determining the size and nature of the technology, setting the direction and growth of the business, shaping the profitability, amount of risk taking, selecting the asset mix, and all other functions. So this is the modern approach. So modern approach is focusing not only on raising funds but also other aspects which are given here. Now, finance function. Now we will see the most important activity, that is the finance function in the financial management. Finance function is divided into three activities. First one is investment decision, second one is finance decision, and third one is dividend decision. Now we will see one by one. Investment decision means selection of assets in which funds are invested by the firm. Once the funds are raised, these funds are invested or put into what type of projects, whether they are long-term projects or short-term projects. They are called as long-term assets or short-term current assets. Long-term, if the raised funds is invested in long-term assets, which will yield a return over a long term, it is called capital budgeting. On the other hand, if the raised funds are invested in short-term current assets, it is called liquidity decision, which are convertible into cash in the near future. Now we will see in detail what is this capital budgeting decision or long-term investment. The first aspect of the capital budgeting decision is the choice of investment out of the available alternatives, means choosing the important project. On what basis we have to select a project? The decision should be based on benefits and returns, the risk and uncertainty, and returns. These three aspects have to be focused on while selecting a project. The selection will be always based on the relative benefits and returns associated with the project. The measurement of the worth of the investment proposal is a major element in the capital budgeting decision. How much worth is this project is to be analyzed beforehand. Another aspect of the capital budgeting decision is the analysis of risk and uncertainty. Why risk and uncertainty are taken care? Because it is a long-term project and returns will be coming at a future date. So we have to, before at the initial stages itself, we have to measure the risk involved in it, how much returns are going to come, and we have to compare the returns that are coming compared with what? We have to compare with the cost of the capital. Cost of the capital means how much return we are paying, how much interest we are paying on the capital that we are bringing in. So the interest that we are paying to the supplier of funds is compared with the returns that we are getting on the project where we are investing. So an element of risk in the sense of uncertainty of future benefits is involved in this exercise. The return from the proposed investment should be evaluated in relation to the risk associated with it. Finally, this return should be judged with a certain norm, means compared. Should be compared with, which is referred to as in different names like cutoff rate, required rate, hurdle rate, or minimum rate of return. Okay. The correct standard is to be used for this purpose is the cost of the capital. Right? Now, the liquidity decision. It is concerned with the management of current assets or day-to-day working capital. If a firm does not have adequate, here also there is a difficult decision involved. So the balance between profitability and liquidity. If a firm does not have adequate working capital, means day-to-day financial support, it may become illiquid and consequently fail to meet its current obligations, thus inviting the risk of bankruptcy. On the other hand, if the current assets are too large, means more money is getting stuck in current assets, it is not effectively utilized, then in such case what happens? The profitability is adversely affected. The firm is losing profits. It is not investing effectively. The entire money is getting stuck in the current assets. Thus, the liquidity decision should obtain the basic two ingredients, that is overview of working capital management and efficient allocation of funds on the individual current assets. This is about investment decision, long term and short term. Long term means capital budgeting, short term means liquidity decision. In the long term, decision should be based on risk, uncertainty and returns. In the short term, there should be a decision. The decision should be based on profitability and liquidity. An optimal decision should be taken, striking a balance between all these factors. The second part of finance function is finance decision. Now, what is finance decision? Finance decision means deciding how much capital should we bring. Normally, capital will be of two types, equity capital and debt capital. What part should be from equity and what part should be from debt? The debt to equity capital, how much ratio should be there? That decision is called the financing decision. After determining the asset mix, means where to invest, the financial manager must decide the mode of raising the funds to meet the firm's investment requirements. The major issue in this decision is to determine the proportion of equity and debt capital. Okay, so if the debt is more, the problem is they have to pay more interest on the debt, that is servicing the debt. Since the involvement of debt capital affects the return and risk of shareholders, if debt capital is more and interest is being paid more to the debtors, then shareholders will get a minimum return. The return to the shareholders will be reduced. In such cases, shareholders will be unhappy, and the main concept of maximizing the shareholders' wealth will be defeated. The financial manager should get the optimal capital structure to maximize the shareholders' return with minimum risk. In other words, the cost of capital is the lowest, means paying of interest should be reduced to the maximum extent possible, and the market value of the share, means the shareholders' wealth is to be increased to the maximum possible extent. Thus, financing decision covers two interrelated aspects: capital structure, means the ratio of debt to equity, and capital structure decision. The third important aspect of financing decision is dividend decision. The financial manager must decide whether the firm should distribute all profits to the shareholders or retain a part of it in the firm itself, or distribute a part and retain the balance. The optimum dividend policy is one which maximizes the market value of the share. Whatever the decision taken by the manager, it should result in the increase in the value of the share of the shareholders. If shareholders are not indifferent to the firm's dividend policy, the financial manager must determine the optimum dividend payout ratio. So to summarize, the financial management involves the solution of the three decisions of the firm according to the modern approach. The traditional approach, with a very narrow perception, was devoid or lacking an integrated conceptual and analytical framework. This is about an introduction to financial management. What is financial management? What is finance function? What are the three important activities of finance function? What is the scope of financial management, traditional approach and modern approach? So that's about it, very briefly. In the next video, we will cover objectives of the firm, risk return trade-off, and other topics depending on the time in one video itself. Thanks for watching the video. Bye bye.